Australia came here, as you already mentioned, on the heels of 15 test wins on the spin, and it would become 16-0 at Wankhede, but before that, the team selection. And Sourav lost his best bowler before the series, Anil Kumble. At the selection committee meeting, the selectors gave him Sharandeep Singh, and going by the hard numbers, Sharandeep was India's best off-spinner at that time, taking wickets in domestic cricket. And Baju was not in the scheme of things, basically. And the selectors picked the squad. Sourav took the shit, struck down Sharandeep Singh, and wrote Harbhajan Singh. So basically, it was went by the. So, Baju, my question to you. You are the youngest member of that squad. When you got into the side, and it has so many big players also, and huge pressure in the dressing room, what was the thought process like, and how was the dressing room atmosphere like?
Good evening, everyone. First of all, lovely to be here, back in Kolkata. Obviously, one of my favorite place to be. Whenever I come here, those memories comes to my mind. And I'll come to your question, what you just asked. There is slight correction I want to make that in that domestic season, I was the highest wicket taker, not Sharandeep Singh. I played 4 domestic games and took about 28 wickets. And the second best spinner was Nilesh Kulkarni. I think he took 12 wickets for that season. So that difference was... you can see what was the difference amongst the spinners. So my performance was there to get me going. But of course, there were a lot of hurdles. Selectors were not in my favor. Sharandeep Singh, he's my brother. He was there already in the team, and he didn't have the best of the series against Zimbabwe. And of course, Anil Bhai got injured. And, John Wright, that somebody to come into the team and who can pick wickets. And they saw all the stats and everything, they called all the spinners from India to bowl in the nets. And in the nets, I was probably bowling the best, that's what they believed. And, then Sourav insisting the selector that he's in form, he's taking wickets in domestic cricket. And I want him in the team. And he also played a bit of test cricket beforehand. I played about 8 test matches, not very good record, but a normal record for a newcomer. But, that's how I got selected. And of course, you need at that point of a time somebody to hold your hand and say, look, I'm there for you. And, that support was required, and Sourav was there for me. And of course, with all the wickets and all the cricket we played together, everybody in that game in Eden and also in Chennai. I think it was a combined effort, and I didn't let him down for picking me. And I'm sure even in the end, he would say he picked the right guy.
Raju, same question for you and then Zach and Venki, all of you. I mean, you start and then Zaheer and Venkatesh can also answer. First to you and then to both of them. When did you think you can win? Because that was the first ever match I covered in the press box. I came from England, I was doing my PhD, I came into Calcutta, I covered that match. It was my first match as a journalist that I covered. 128 for 8, day 2. 128 for 8, Australia 445, game done. When did you all start to believe that, this can happen, we can win, we can win?
I think on that 5th day, when we had that total on the board, that's when we started to believe that we have the target on the board, and if we bowl well, we can get them out. And knowing Australia, they will come aggressively. We didn't know how much to give them, and that was the reason, they keep delaying further and further, and I wasn't really part of that discussion anyways. But I think that was the only discussion, that when to declare, when not to declare. But we were all ready to bowl, me, Zach, Venki Bhai, we were all ready to bowl, and it was their decision. Of course, those 74, 76 over was enough on the 5th day. I think we bowled pretty well. We took our chances, we took our catches, and I think it was a combined effort, not just my effort, but I believe those catches Shiv Sundar Das took at short leg, Sadagopan Ramesh, Rahul Dravid, and everyone involved. They gave their best shot to win that historic test match. It wasn't just my test match. I think that test match gave us the belief as Indian that we can beat Australia. And once you get that kind of a belief, when Rahul scoring that big century and VVS scoring that big 100, double 100, I think that was the key moment. Those kind of moments give you that belief that we can do it. That's where, I am sitting at, and I'm also writing in the same in my book. Whatever little I know, now my memory is becoming Gajani. So before I forget anything, I think I'll write whatever, I have. I might have to hear their version. Zach was with me throughout the, conversation when that partnership was happening. We were the only one, we were sitting inside. So rest of the guys were outside. And, after the first inning, when we got out on that placid wicket where they scored 400 and we got out at 170, and everybody was so quiet in the dressing room, and he came up to me, "Itna sannata kyun hai bhai? Dressing room mein itna sannata kyun hai?" But wo sannata kaise wo shore mein badla, it's a brilliant story. I think probably the best test match I have ever been part of. I think that test match gave us the belief that we can do it. If we can do it against these guys, we can do it against anybody.
Zaheer, same question. Kaise badla bhai Sarnata? Shore mein.
I think I remember Chetan Chauhan was our manager, right? At that time. And in the morning of fourth day, at the beginning of that day, he had a chat, right? Like with the whole team, and he said, "Pure din out nahi hona." And we were actually, obviously, we've been following on. When we are forced to follow on with the might of Australia, as you mentioned, 15 wins on the trot before they got here to India, winning that first test match in Mumbai, and forcing us to follow on in the second test. Obviously, it was not going to be easy even to believe that the fight back can be on. But I think Laxman and Rahul, the way they batted session by session, it just kind of, the belief went on increasing, and it reached a point, where we had gone past their score, and then we were like, okay, ab kitne chahiye ke jisse match ban sake. And then, the lead kept on accumulating until end of fourth day. We felt that, okay, now we can put them in. How many overs we should bowl to get them out? So that's how the game turned. So it was very unthinkable till that point. But I think on the fourth day, things just session by session went on, and spell by spell went on improving our belief, improving how we are looking at the whole game. Eventually, it reached to a point where we knew that, okay, we can't lose this game. We went in that position in the game, and rest is history. I think, once we got to that level, it was very difficult for Australia to turn things around in that game.
Same question.
Just sorry वेंकी, हम लोग तीनों ही थे जब चेतन चौहान साहब ने कहा था ना कि पूरा दिन आउट नहीं होना है, तो वेंकी ने भी कहा, मैंने भी, उन्होंने कि हमारी बारी आएगी तो हम नहीं होंगे, बैट्समैन हो जाएंगे तो हम क्या करें.
Hi, good evening. Yeah, it was quite interesting and quite tensed. There was a lot of sessions, where we were put on a lot of pressure. I think what I remember is about the first innings when we were batting. I think the best partnership in the first innings was between Laxman and myself, I suppose. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, we forgot about that. Huh?
So sorry.
We forgot about that.
So it was a 43-run partnership, if I remember right. And I kept on telling Laxman, you don't worry about me. I will make sure that I won't throw away my wicket. I'll be there on the pitch, and you just continue, because he was batting at 50 odd runs and he was playing pretty well. And I said, by any way we need to avoid this follow-on. I think that's something which we were discussing in the middle. But that didn't seem to happen, and of course, Laxman was the last batter to get out. And yeah, the master stroke was from the captain, was promoting Laxman to number 3. I think that was the master stroke of the game. And having said that, I think both their partnership was extremely inspiring for the whole team. It just lifted the whole team. Can you just believe it? The 4th day, playing the whole day without losing a wicket and scoring runs at will. I think these guys did extremely well. So, and obviously, Baji, the way he was bowling, it was superb. I was just watching because I was standing at either mid-on or a mid-off. Okay, so for the left-right combination. So I was watching him bowl, the loop, the turn, the spin that he was getting, or the bounce that he was getting. It was just unbelievable. Incredible bowling with a lot of revolutions. I mean, I've not seen any spinner bowling that way. And it was also turning so much. The other thing that I remember why I'm saying that is because it was turning so much, because Hayden was playing extremely well on day 5. I think probably he got out after tea, if I remember. And just before tea, since it was turning so much, and I was standing at mid-off, okay, obviously a left-hander when he plays for an off-spinner, it tends to go towards extra cover. It goes towards extra cover. With the spin, trying to play it through cover, so it goes extra cover. So I was positioning myself, based on the turn or the bounce or what he was trying to, what Baji was trying to bowl and where the ball might come. So pretty much I was standing in extra cover. Without telling anybody, I was trying to adjust myself to the spin of the ball. So I was standing at extra cover, and I was looking at the crowd pretty much. My background was the crowd, because he was bowling from the far end. You're bowling from the far end, if you remember that. So just before tea, there was an opportunity. Yes, and so there was an opportunity at mid-off, and I was standing in, and I dropped that catch. Can you believe it? And it was so crucial that we had to get Hayden out. Because throughout the series, I think he played superbly well, including Chennai as well, later on in the 3rd test match. But having said that, it was extremely important to dismiss him. And I dropped the catch because I could see the ball that he hit in the air. Once he played that, through covers, it was in the air, and it was also swerving, just going outside like an outswing. Once a left-hander plays for the off-spinner, and I saw it for a brief moment, and then I lost it because the crowd was behind me, or rather in front of me. So I lost it, and it was a straightforward catch, fairly, in a precarious sort of a height. I dropped it, and that tea session, when we were there inside, it was hell for me. Because there was Ian Chappell, there was Ravi Shastri. I mean, obviously the commentary box was there right up about the players, and they were all coming down to talk about the session, how it went. And I'm inside with a hot and humid condition, sweating and feeling rotten because I had dropped a catch, right? And it kept on playing on the television, these two guys talking about the drop catch and how important it is to take those catches, and that sort of, I was feeling rotten, honestly. Yeah. And on top of it, when something like that happens, believe me, you don't want to be near the coach. Right? You don't want to be near the coach, especially John Wright. I mean, so he kept on coming, and one is I've dropped the catch, and these guys are talking about the drop catch, and you got to take those catches, blah blah blah, and John coming, Venky, you got to take those catches, man, So, but then the way it ended, the way Baji bowled, I think it was simply unbelievable. So it was. As much as Baji's game, I mean, though we are celebrating the 25 years and also talking so much about Rahul Dravid and VVS Laxman's batting, I would also like to say this belongs to Baji as well, this game, and also the series. The series also belongs to Baji, the way he bowled throughout the series. With 32, 34 wickets, I think he ended up. I think that was incredible.
Just, thank you. Just to add on to that, I think Sachin Tendulkar also bowled a superb spell. You know, taking those 3 important wickets was the key. Of course, we tried our other bowlers, didn't work, but Sachin always comes with wicket. You know, whenever he roll his arm, you know, he bring that.
Shane Warne did not pick his googly.
Googly, leg spin, he's got everything. So those 3 wickets was as important as my 7 were. I think वो नहीं होते तो शायद वो मैच का रिजल्ट नहीं होता, because Hayden was playing seriously good.
Good that you didn't save the follow-on, because after that game, follow-on went out of the window. But whose decision was it to promote VVS up the order at number 3? Was it John's or was it a collective decision?
Well, I would say though it was a collective decision, but the decision would rest with the captain, yes or no. So finally he's got to take the final call. So it was definitely Saurav's decision. It's his responsibility, his duty to take those decisions, being a leader, being the captain. And I think he made a great call. I think that's what leaders are all about, isn't it? You got to make those calls at the right moment, which really worked in favor. And also he was playing well. In the first innings, he was the one who got some runs, and he was in good nick. So the right call to make him play at number 3.
Zach, ये बताओ, Sourav उस दिन मुझे कह रहे थे, we've got a clip for you also, but he was saying that when y'all were celebrating in the dressing room, he said, you know, once we won that match, Bhaju mentioned this, he said, I thought this team can't lose anymore in Chennai. That whatever now happens, because we were chatting in his house, and I said, what happened? What's the impact? He said, you know, we stayed in the change room for 4-5 hours because there were thousands of people outside celebrating. But I thought to myself that as skipper, these boys can't lose Chennai. It transformed Indian cricket. Then he mentioned about you saying, after that, whether it's England, whether it's 2007, you became a phenomenon in your own right. So what happened to the change room in terms of belief?
Well, I think it was very early days for us as cricketers to embark on the journey at international cricket level. So when you're playing against a team like Australia those days, who were dominating, who's coming off such a record, and playing against them was a different task, isn't it? Like, you will be pushed to the corner, and the only way for you to fight back or to come back from there is to look them in the eye and then make the charge. So that's the only way of playing with those kind of players, and that's what we did. I think the win was very important for us. The whole series was very hard fought. I think right throughout. If you see even the last game. Bhaji scored those winning runs in Chennai. I was batting before Bhaji, and I must have scored the most valuable 0, because I faced 30-35 deliveries, not scored runs, batted with Sameer Dighe, and our partnership was some 30 runs or something like that. So just to be there at the crease was very important, and then obviously Bhaji and Sameer Dighe got us home. We won the series. In many ways, for all of us, because we were just newcomers at the international level, it enhanced our confidence, yes, but also put us on the right track to know what is it going to take to be the world beaters. What is it going to take? What kind of attitude we must have? How we should look at the game? How we should never give up. All those attributes which make you a good cricketer just happened naturally by playing that series, I felt. I didn't play the whole series. I played 2 test matches. But just to be part of it, seeing Bhaji's success, seeing how Laxman and Rahul made that fight back, and contributions all around. You rightly said that, our match winner in Anil Kumble was not there in that series. And yet we managed to have that kind of impact. There were a lot of spinners being tried in that series. Yeah. There were a lot of different combinations being tried. And what happened is it just kind of stabilized things going forward then. because individuals were putting hand and saying that, okay, I'm ready to take this team to the next level. And that's what happened in the due course as we moved along.
Shamik?
Venki bhai, you have known Rahul since his age group days, and coming into that test match, he was under a lot of pressure. I mean, by his lofty standards, he was not scoring that many runs, and he was demoted in the batting order. And that innings came, and what happened going ahead, a legendary career unfolded. Do you think that knock or that test match was the turning point of his career?
Honestly, I myself have not played a lot of age group cricket, so I know him only after 19. So he was obviously part of the age group cricket, and he came up. Having said that, well, we played a lot of cricket for Karnataka, but then he was extremely focused, that is for sure. Extremely focused, and he never wanted to throw his wicket away. Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, obviously, beginning of his career, you tend to feel sort of bored watching his game, but that's what he's all about, trying to occupy the crease as long as possible and sweat it out and make the bowlers tire, so that's how he used to bat, and then probably score those runs. So his attitude or his focus, his concentration, I think was just next level, and he never wanted to throw his wicket, be it match or even in net sessions as well. So that's how we always practiced, and eventually you would get there. You would be right up there, when you have those good practices.
Bhaji, is this the best you bowled? माने आपने तो इतना मैच जिताया इंडिया को, पूरा करियर बहुत मैच जिताया, 400 विकेट, 500 विकेट, ये सब legendary statistics आपके पास है, आप world champion हो. But was that series the best that the ball was coming out? Harbhajan Singh became Harbhajan Singh because of that series?
Yeah, I believe so. I think वो मेरे लिए वो करो या मरो वाली स्थिति थी कि अगर करते तो टीम में रहते, नहीं तो फिर सी यू लेटर, बाय बाय. कोई नहीं पूछता बाद में, ना सिलेक्टर ना कोई प्लेयर, कोई पूछता नहीं है. सवारी अपने सामान की खुद जिम्मेदार है, और आज भी वही है. तो ये इंडियन क्रिकेट है. तो शायद ऐसा आपको कोई और बोलेगा नहीं, क्योंकि मैं पहले भी ऐसा ही था, आज भी ऐसे ही. इस कारण बहुत बार मुँह की खानी भी पड़ी, बट अब तो क्या ही खानी पड़ेगी. बट एनीवेज मेरे लिए वो करो या मरो की स्थिति थी कि आई थिंक अगर इस सीरीज़ में नहीं अच्छा होता तो पता नहीं क्या करता. बट जब कलकत्ता आया तो इतना कुछ हो गया, तो उसके बाद फिर पता था कि आगे सब कुछ ठीक होना ही है. और कलकत्ता के बारे में हमेशा मैं कहता हूँ कि मेरा जन्म तो हुआ पंजाब में, लेकिन मैं क्रिकेटर बना यहाँ से, कलकत्ता से.
और ईडन गार्डन्स अगर मैं सोचूं, आपने वो मैच देख लो, फिर साउथ अफ्रीका के साथ वो 2010 वाला मैच, मॉनी मोकल को आउट कर देना, इंडिया नंबर 1. कलकत्ता हैज़ बीन हरभजन सिंह.
या मेरी ज़िंदगी में कलकत्ता का उतना ही अहम रोल है जितना मेरे माँ बाप ने मुझे पैदा किया, ठीक है, और मेरी बहनों ने मेरे लिए अरदासें करी, मेरे दोस्त मेरे लिए खड़े रहे, और कलकत्ता अगर नहीं होता तो मेरे जीवन में क्या होता मुझे समझ नहीं आएगी. तो मेरे लिए कलकत्ता का बहुत बड़ा महत्व है. Every time I played here, I took 5 wickets. So it was like, if I am in form or not, you get me to Calcutta, I'll come in the form. So उस तरीके का था.
Zach, ये बताओ, after that, 2001, India goes to England, you win at Headingley. India goes to Australia, you win in Australia at Adelaide, you got 700 runs in Sydney, you were winning. 2007, you 18 wickets in that England series. I've never seen you bowl, but I mean that series, every ball seemed like you'll pick a wicket. I covered that game. India started winning overseas regularly. When you look back, did that kind of make Indian cricket and started that saga which continued and we became the force that we are?
Look, I've said this on many occasions that I felt that with Indian cricket, when you look back at the history of Indian cricket, every decade there were individuals who made sure that you've taken the team to the next level. They've laid the foundation for the new guys to then take it to the next level, build it again, and so on and so forth. I think for us, it was a conscious effort when we used to sit together in terms of setting the vision board, in terms of setting goals collectively which we want to achieve. I think winning overseas was something which was right up there, as important as winning a World Cup. And I think that was very important for all of us to believe in that. And then the process started like that. Like, then we used to have, we identified the areas which we needed to address for us to be successful overseas, be it lower order contribution. I remember John Wright had set up the pairs where the batters would pick their choice of the bowler, and they would work with the bowler to improve his batting, so that the lower order contribution can improve, and collectively the team benefits. And mind you, I'm talking about the days where we used to have only one physio, and that used to be pretty much it. The support staff, the support system which you see as the cricket has become more professional, and teams have evolved with a lot of the things, creating that environment which aids for your performance. You had to find different ways, and we were ready to do whatever it takes to make that impact. I think that's the beauty of our time, and we set goals, we found ways, and eventually you've seen the results as well. So I think when you're talking about the journey of India making that impact in terms of overseas wins and those numbers improving with every year passing, a lot of the work and planning had gone in that, and we feel very proud that we're able to make that impact and achieve things and lay that strong foundation for the next generation to come and then take things forward.
So when you start winning, what happens is it builds a lot of confidence and a lot of faith in your ability, the belief in your ability, and also the team. So you trust one another. I think these things start happening once you start winning. I think that's exactly what happened after the Indian team won the test match here. From there onwards, so obviously I was out of the team by say about 2002. After that, when I came back into the team as a coach, I saw guys like Zach, who was new in 2000, 2001, if I can say that. I think he was a completely changed man. With his understanding his ability, understanding his strength, and being a leader in terms of making decisions about his bowling and also helping the others. So much so that we won the Test series in 2006 against England.
7 in England, 6 in West Indies.
Yeah, exactly. So, so that is exactly what happens to the players when you start winning, be it in India or be it abroad. It brings in, a lot of confidence and trust in each other and so on. So I think that's one of the reasons I think you need to keep on winning. And I think these guys were fantastic when I just got in as a coach, as a bowling coach then. These guys was just super. So I just had to, have a nice environment. But most of the decisions, let me tell you honestly, was taken by the players. How to bowl, how to react, what to do. So they were so strong mentally, and they're amazing leaders, I should say.
A question to all of you: how do you assess Sourav as captain in terms of giving you the chance and backing them, and also John Kent from Kent, and he was the first overseas coach of the Indian cricket team. So something regarding his contribution to Indian cricket.
I think Dada was the best leader I have played under. There's no doubt about it. I'm not saying just because I'm here in Kolkata, but everywhere I say this because he gave us the freedom to do what we need to do on the field. It didn't matter what you do on the field or off the field, but only thing what was required was to give your best shot. And for that matter, to win a game, do whatever you want to do. You set your own field, bowl according to your own plan, and share your knowledge amongst others. We were the young lot, me, Zach, we all came together, but he gave us so much of freedom to do what we needed to do and let our self-explore, what is happening around on that 22 yard. So I think Sourav was the perfect guy for someone like us. We were new, and I was a bit of indisciplined as well. I wasn't the easy one to handle. Glad I had Sourav, Rahul, great Tendulkars around me who could shape my career in the right direction. I was bit of, गुस्से वाला. तो बट ये है कि एक बार मैदान में घुस जाते थे तो सिर्फ एक ही चीज़ का जुनून था कि कैसे जीतना है, और उसके लिए दादा हमेशा कहता था जैसा है ना अच्छा है, भारत को यही चाहिए, वो लड़ना आना चाहिए, और जब तक नहीं लड़ेंगे जीतेंगे नहीं, और जब से लड़ना शुरू किया है अब हारते नहीं हैं हम.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Let me play one clip of Sourav for Zaheer. I said, Zaheer is coming. He said, play this. I said, are you sure you want him to hear this? He said, I am his captain. Play this. Play this. Zaheer, you must listen to this. Chala do bhai.
Brilliant. Brilliant, but not easy to handle. Not easy to handle. He had his own mind. But at the end of the day, we were friends. They were young players. When he came in, he bowled 150. And then he started to swing it. In England, he was unbelievable in that trip in 2007.
Yeah, I've never seen him. Every ball seemed a wicket.
Every ball. A new ball when Strauss and Alistair Cook batted. Although I got Alistair Cook out more than he did in that series. When it was only a matter of time. I used to stand in slips. Sachin first, Rahul second, and me third, or maybe second, third. Rahul used to sometimes go to mid-off because he was captain. And I used to watch Zaheer bowl, and I was thinking, this ball's coming to me. This ball's coming to me. That's how good he was. And he used to get Strauss and everyone out, innings after innings in that test series.
These guys are being nice to you. There is a clip which they did not play where he says, Zaheer, you must not have more biryani and must reduce weight. They've not played that clip. And he says, Zaheer has to give a lot back to Indian cricket. And I started smiling. And he said, what? I said, it applies to us as well. He said, no, Zaheer ko bol de raha.
No, that's Dada's new favorite topic. New favorite topic, because he's so conscious these days and making sure that everything is there. I was like, okay, abhi thoda enjoyment chal raha hai, uske baad dekhte hain na.
And then he started asking, तुम्हारा HbA1c कितना है, ये नंबर बताओ, वो ना. I said, यार इंटरव्यू दो ना, ये सब क्यों पूछ रहे हो भाई, खाना खाने तो. He said, मिष्टी मत खाना. I said, अरे क्या?
You come to Calcutta and not to have biryani.
Of course you must.
कैसे possible है?
And he is telling me, you turned 50. I said, yes. He gives me a gift and there's a mishti mat khana.
I recently met him and he gave me the full lowdown of how I should approach, what all things I must do. And and Bajji will second that, or maybe give the answer that, ball or dada ki race mein kaun jeetta tha?
Oh, bhai.
बॉल जीतती थी क्योंकि दादा कहता था बॉल जा रही है तो जाने दो, उतने रन तो बना ही दूंगा मैं, डोंट वरी. तो
let's turn our focus to, we've said, to the journey since.
Boria, seriously, imagine if we have the similar kind of guys, the way they feel today. Imagine we have those kind of fielders.
कितना विकेट लेते तुम? 600 650?
पता नहीं कितना होता, पर रन तो बहुत कम देते. तो
नहीं, but जब भी दादा की बात करते हैं तो बज्जी was spot on actually. I think in different phase in your career you need different kind of a leader, and I think we were very lucky to have Dada around that time when we made our debuts, because he was very approachable. You could actually argue with him, like even today.
He said that.
Yeah, even today we will have the disagreements, but he will listen to you and he will give you what you want. And I think that was the quality which defined him as a leader. To handle all these, because around 2000, 99-2000, there were some 6-7 new guys must have walked in the team, and they made their mark in their international careers, made that impact, contributed towards team success. But I think his contribution was immense in terms of being approachable, being very friendly, being able to give you that freedom to go out and express yourself.
Bajju has a story to tell.
I have a story about Dada. एक बार मुझे मैच नहीं खिलाया कहीं तो भी. I was taking so many wickets, but of course conditions were so friendly to the seamers, and only one have to play, and of course great Kumble.
न्यूजीलैंड में
कहीं तो
No, that was South Africa at Bloemfontein, I suppose.
कहीं तो मैं खेला नहीं, तो
Bloemfontein.
then I didn't talk to him for 4-5 days. और ऐसा कप्तान जो मतलब मेरे को खुद बुलाता है, छोटे कमरे में आना, तो मैंने कहा नहीं, मैं नहीं आऊँगा दादा, रहने दो. फिर अगले दिन फ़ोन किया, अरे आना, चाय बना रहा हूँ. मैं उस दिन गया, तो बोल रहा क्या हुआ यार, एक मैच है ना, ये कंडीशंस ऐसी हैं. तो मतलब हम नाराज़ भी हो जाते थे ना, तो बंदा मनाता था. इतना प्यारा बंदा था. ही वॉज मोर लाइक ए ब्रदर. कप्तान तो था ही था, तो दादा का मतलब तो बड़ा भाई होता है, तो वो बड़े भाई वाला काम उन्होंने बिल्कुल 100% किया है.
लवली स्टोरीज.
और एक ऐसा कप्तान जिसके साथ मजाक भी कर सकते थे. हमने अप्रैल फूल बनाया था दादा का.
ये
अगर
खान
याद
बता
होगा
दीजिए.
तो अभी ये मैच था कोची में, इफ़ यू रिमेंबर ज़ैक, गजनी. सो आई थिंक हम लोग वहाँ पे मैच खेल रहे थे. वी डिसाइडेड दैट वी आर गोना से कि दादा आप लोगों ने ना मिलके क्या स्टेटमेंट दी है मेरे बारे में, ज़ैक के बारे में, आशीष नेहरा के बारे में, यूवी के बारे में, कि ये यंगस्टर ये जो है ना रात रात पार्टियाँ करते हैं, ये प्रैक्टिस तो करते नहीं है, ये मेहनत नहीं करते हैं. तो हमने जाके ये शुरू किया. वी हैड सचिन ऑन आवर साइड, अनिल भाई ऑन आवर साइड, राहुल ऑन आवर साइड, एंड दे एक्टेड वेल. तो हमने शुरू किया कि दादा ये क्या, आप कुछ भी बोल देते हो प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में. तो दादा सडनली क्या बोला रे. मैंने कहा दादा ये क्या है यार, कि जैक इनडिसिप्लिन है, मैं इनडिसिप्लिन हूँ, यूवी पार्टी करता है, ये क्या है. कहते भाई गॉड मैंने कुछ नहीं बोला. हमने पेपर कटिंग बनवाए हुए थे, वो सामने रख दिए. अब बताओ क्या है. और जैसे ही हमने कटिंग रखे, राहुल ऑल्सो, दादा दिस इज़ नॉट डन. उधर से सचिन ने भी बोला, दादी हाउ कैन यू डू दिस. तो जब दो लोग वो बोले ना, तो दादा कहता मैं अभी कप्तानी छोड़ दूंगा अगर मैंने ऐसा कुछ किया होगा. दादा इतना घबरा गया था कि उसको वाकई लगा कि बस ये आज आखिरी दिन है कप्तानी का. तो मतलब उसके बाद ये सब हुआ, 5-10 मिनट वो चला ड्रामा. बट इतनी अच्छी एक्टिंग सबने करी, पर बाद में बताया दादा अप्रैल फूल है, आज बार प्रैक्टिस करने चलते हैं.
ब्यूटीफुल.